She's not moving anyway. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Port St. Lucie. So nice to see some Halloween costumes out here. Some are even wearing masks. That's amazing. So please, if you would stand, and we'll get our opening song, One Life. I would invite you now to sit back and relax, get comfortable, and consider these words from our prayer for inner peace. I open my heart and mind this morning to the presence of God that is within me and in everyone and everything, that one power and one presence. I let God's peace fill my being. In this presence, I am peaceful, poised, confident, and strong. I relax in God's loving care and release all of my cares, knowing that God is upholding me and sustaining me in all that I do. God's presence calms me, quiets the storms around me, and leads me to a place of perfect peace. As I center myself in that peaceful presence this morning, I let go of every concern and relax in the safety of God's love and in the love of those around me. I find Unity of Port St. Lucie a sanctuary of love and peace, and I am open and receptive to receive all that has to soothe my mind and soul this day. And so it is. Amen. Would you join with me in our statement of faith? There is only one power and one presence in my life and in the universe. God the good, omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence. And our core values, what do we stand for? Unity of Port St. Lucie encourages diversity and embraces harmonious and creative pursuits of truth and knowledge in a safe environment to achieve balance and wholeness in the world. And our congregational song this morning is Happy Day. Can you all stand and
Oh, happy day.
Nice. I had some technical problems here. I blame Sherry. The daily word this morning will be read to us by Shanetta.
Good morning. The word for today is protection. God is here. I am safe. Once in a while, I enjoy doing things that frighten me, like me now. Sharing ghost stories around a campfire, watching a spooky movie, even savoring an uneasy feeling just before thundering down the first hill of a roller coaster. All these things can feel scary, even though I know I'm in no danger. If I begin to feel unsafe in any situation, I remember that right where I am, God is. Breathing out, I release tension. My body relaxes. Fearful thoughts begin to dissolve. Breathing in, I think more clearly. Slowly, I regain strength and peace of mind. My confidence returns as I remember that nothing in the world can prevail against strength, the wisdom, and the love of God. Psalm 23:4 says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Let us prepare now for meditation by singing "Surely the Presence." No? Pardon me. Let's repeat the affirmation together. God is there. I am safe.
Just a slight change in the format this morning. Reverend Lily Wong is our guest speaker, and she's going to be joining us virtually. And here she is.
Good morning, Unity of Port St. Lucie. My name is Lily Wong, and I am happy to be with you here this morning in spirit, although not physically, to deliver the message for you this morning and also the meditation. And today I want to talk to you about the title, What's Next? And when I ask you what's next, I mean, what's next in your life? What's next for Unity of Port St. Lucie? What's next for our world in general, in a bigger, broader sense? And there's a story that I would like to share with you. And this story was one of my favorites growing up when I was a kid. I would watch my mom in the kitchen, and she would take all these ingredients and she'll whip them together. And even my dad used to cook as well every once in a while. And he would go in the kitchen and he would put these ingredients together and make this beautiful dish. And I thought it was just magic, absolute magic. And so when I heard this story in church, I thought, man, Jesus must have been a magician. How many of us thought he was a magician? I thought so as a kid, at least. And it wasn't until I came to uni I understand the science behind it, the metaphysics. And when I say metaphysics, for those of you who are unaware, we in Unity, we interpret the Bible metaphysically. And we also believe Jesus was our elder brother. He came to show us the way, to teach us how to live, how to be. And so when I think of this story, and some of you may be familiar with it, it was the story of Jesus when he performed his first miracle. Now, the first miracle that he performed was in John, the Gospel according to John, verse 2, chapter 2, verse 1 through 11. And he turns water into wine. Now, one part of the story that I did not recognize when I was younger, because I was, thinking of it as magic, I don't know how he did it, was the part where the beginning part of that, the beginning part of the story that I really didn't pay attention to as a child. And I wanted to read some of that to you this morning. The first part of it, it says, on the third day there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. And so Jesus's mother, Mary, she was there, and she goes up to him and she says, hey, the wine has ran out. We don't have any more wine. Now, how many of us have been to a wedding? Usually there's some beverage to celebrate. And in this case, back in those days, and even today, they celebrated with wine. And there was no more wine. And she went to him. And I love his response because I thought it was very interesting. He said, she said when the wine gave out, the mother of Jesus said to him, they have no wine. And Jesus said to her, woman, what concern is that to you and to me? My hour has not yet come. Now, when I read this as an adult, I thought, man, he was a bit of a smart aleck. He was saying, what is it my business? What is it your business? Why does it matter? It's not my wedding. It's not your wedding. Whose wedding is it? Why should I care? I thought he was being a bit human in this. And maybe that was true and maybe not. Because he says, my hour has not yet come. Now, in unity, we know and consider Jesus also as human and also as divine. He became aware of the divinity part of him. That's why we say Jesus Christ. He became a part of that divine consciousness. Now, unity, we interpret the scripture metaphysically. And what that really and simply means is what's beyond the story. What is beyond whatever the story is in the Bible or any story for matter? What is the meaning of it for us? How can we use it? So when I ask you what's next is that Jesus said, my hour has not yet come. That means that he wasn't ready. Now I want to take a step back and tell you my story, one part of my many stories that I've lived so far. I remember I was sitting in my first unit church many years ago. I had been going to this church on and off for a few months, and I was sitting there, went with my friend, and the minister was giving her talk, and honestly, I don't remember what the talk was about. I remember I was looking up there and watching her and listening, and I heard a voice says, you could be doing that. Or some version of that. You could be doing that. That was the impression and the knowingness that I got. And of course, I looked at my friend, and my friend was watching the minister, listening, paying attention. And I looked to my other side, and there's no one there. And I looked around again, and I looked behind me. And I was wondering, who said this? Who said this? You must have the wrong Lily Wong, because honestly, there's a lot of Lily Wongs if you looked it up. And so for me, I didn't understand where this came from. Again, I was sitting in another Unity church a few years later, probably about 2 years later, 3 years later, and I heard something very similar again. Now, of course, I did the same thing again. I looked around. And of course, it was no one that was this time sitting around me. Again, there's one person behind me paying attention to the minister, one other person sitting with me. And again, they were listening to the minister. I had no idea who said this. So I started to say to myself, I don't know about doing that. I don't know about going up there and speaking to anyone. I don't know about even being a minister. And I said, okay, at the very least, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look it up. What can I do with this information? So I decided that eventually I decided I was going to take some spiritual enrichment and education classes. We call them SEEs in Unity. And of course, we know how this story goes. Here I am speaking with you this morning on video, and I've already spoken to you in person. So what does that have to do with Jesus and his speaking? He said, "My hour has not yet come." Now, Mary, metaphysically, if we look up Mary in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, written by our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, represents our intuition. Our intuition. I had been praying and meditating for quite a number of years prior to even being in a Unity church. I had decided that I was going to learn about meditation. I was going to learn about a little bit more understanding, deeper understanding of prayer. And I was doing this, and my intuition spoke to me, and I obviously looked around. I don't know who is speaking to me, but it was my intuition. And Mary represents that intuitive part of us. So when I ask you what's next, I am asking you, what is your intuition saying to you? Now, before, when he said, "My hour has not yet come," she went off to the servants and she said to them, whatever he says to do, go ahead and do it. Now, later on, I realized that that was the same thing for me. My intuition came and the idea in my own mind said, okay, let me go ahead and seek out what it is that maybe I'll do towards this. And he transforms later. He asks them to get these jars and fill them with water. And he prays and he turns it into wine. And the host realized that, oh my God, we've saved the best wine for last. Why did we save the best for last? And I think of this in my own life because I've had many jobs, and I feel like I have saved the best for last. But there was some amount of preparation that needed to be done. Jesus knew that he wasn't ready. He was waiting for the right time to be in alignment. So I ask of you, what's next? Have you prepared? Now, we say that in the scripture it says that this wedding occurred on the third day. It didn't say the third day of what. But 3 represents something we're very familiar with, and I hope you are familiar with in Unity. A mind, idea, expression. Or we call it the Trinity in Unity. What does that mean? It means first in mind, we know, and then in manifestation. Mind is the idea of God as source. Now, Jesus knew that God is the source. He hadn't gotten the idea of what to do to tell him to fill these jars. He got the divine idea. When the hour came, the idea came to him from divine mind. So that's the mind, and the idea came in mind. And the expression is the action. The expression is the action that we must take for the manifestation to happen. Now, when we talk about water anywhere in the scriptures, it's either a cleansing, or in this case, it means a negation. We have to cleanse the negative thoughts and ideas for the divine mind to come in. I was praying, I was meditating all this time, and I was cleansing and opening myself up to that idea, that divine idea of service, of being the Christ presence in all that I do. So when you think about water and wine is life, it's the vitality. Remember, they used it to celebrate this marriage. And a marriage really is a union of our consciousness. It's the union of all the states of our consciousness within our mind. So when I ask you what's next, what is that intuition? What is Mary saying to you, saying, hey, we need more wine, really? Am I going to, in my humanness, saying, what does it matter to me, lady? I don't know what you're talking about. What is that divine idea that is coming out, that is seeking to express through you, as you, and by you? And I want to read something from The Revealing Word by Charles Fillmore. He says, each one of us must not only see the image of our desires as a theory. Now, desire, I believe, in unity, it is our power of love. It is our power of love from the divine that's always seeking expression. If you have a desire for something, an idea for something, guess what? It is God. It is in the mind of God seeking to be expressed through you, as you, and by you. And he goes on to say, but we must also form it into a living, breathing thing through every motive and act of our lives. Now, what is that action that you need to take? That intuition is saying, here's a great idea. Are you willing to step into alignment, into this beautiful gift of turning water, that negation that you have in your mind, in your consciousness, and letting it go and let it transmute and turn into something beautiful, that beautiful divine idea that is coming in? Are you willing to clear that stuff and step into that divine idea, to take action on it? I took action on it, and I took SEEs thinking that I was just going to teach classes. I was just going to be supporting a minister. And of course, it came clearer and clearer. My intuition came very clear and said, be a unity minister. And of course, my hour had not yet come, because it took me a while to clear out the negative junk to say that I can't do that. So what it is that is coming through for you? What is that guidance that needs to come clearer as you step away from that negation, from that using that denials? We talked about that the last time I spoke with you. Have we cleared those denials? Have we cleared out those false beliefs that we can't do whatever it is we're trying to do? Whatever our mission is, whatever is seeking to be expressed. So when I ask you, what's next? I'm asking you, what's the next action from that intuition are you going to take this week? Are you listening to the intuition? And what's that one thing, just one thing that you're willing to do towards that idea? Because the mind idea expression, in order for the expression and the good to come to us, we have to take action. The idea comes from divine mind. We have the idea, we have it in our mind, and the thoughts and feelings, and we get excited about it. For me, I was a little nervous at first. I was fearful. And then more and more I got excited about the opportunity to do what I was called to do. And that feeling gave me the blessing of that energy to take action. So what is that one action I invite you to take this week? To step into that what's next, because you already know what's next. In your heart, you know what's next. Jesus knew what was next, but he had not stepped fully into the God and I are one consciousness just yet. That's why he said his hour is not yet come. It had not stepped in. He had not get fully clearly what the idea was. The intuition in the form of Mary came, but he was not fully aligned just yet. So I invite you to take this with you this week and honor that. Honor that beautiful desire in the form of your intuition that comes to you. And I invite you to take this with me into a time of meditation. I invite you to go ahead and sit comfortably in your chair and take a nice deep breath, closing your eyes and exhaling. Sweet, loving Spirit, we embrace the divine intuition, that beautiful idea that is coming to us. that beautiful creative idea that is seeking to be expressed through us, by us, and as us. We know that in unity our thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, and we know and affirm only in mind. We know and affirm that through our fifth principle, we must take action to bring our good into the world. Whatever that good is seeking to be expressed as us, we know and affirm that it is here right now. We give thanks knowing that all is in divine order, that intuition, that guidance, and that action is taken, it's merged together. We give thanks for this knowingness of what is next for this beautiful spiritual community. What is next in the guidance that they seek, whether it is for a new minister, whether it is for new outreach in the community, whatever is seeking to be expressed by each and every beautiful soul in this spiritual community. We give thanks knowing that each and every one of them is a part of the spiritual consciousness that makes up Unity of Port St. Lucie, and is continuing to bless the community by being their beautiful Christ self. As each and every one of us becomes aware of our Christ nature, knowing that the Father and I are one, meaning we open ourselves up to the awareness of that divine idea. We think it, we feel it, and we express it through our actions. We give thanks for this guided idea, and as we are guided into a moment of silence, we say thank you. As we take a deep breath in, exhaling gently and slowly, we say thank you, divine source of all, for the guidance and for the courage and the knowingness to do all that is ours to do this day, knowing that what's next is the beautiful expression of the highest and best good for all. And so it is, and so we let it be. Thank you. Amen.
Without you, I would have lost it all. Now I see you were there for me. I never would have made it. I never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But now I see how you were there for me. Help me sing it again and say, never would have made it. Your hands. Never would have made it without you. I would have lost it all. Would have lost it all. Now I know you were there for me. I'm stronger, stronger, wiser, wiser, better, so much better. When I look back over my life, what you brought me through, I see that you were there for me, and I held on to you, and I said, I never would have made it, never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. I would have lost it all. Now I know you were there for me. I would have seen it again, say, never would have made it. I never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. I would have lost it all. Now I know you were there for me, and see that I'm stronger, 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 wiser, wiser, better, better. I made it through the storm, and it's just because you were there to carry me through this mess. And I want to say, never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. See, I would have lost it all. Would have lost it all. Never would have made it. Never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. Would have lost it all. Now I know you were there for me. See, you made me so much stronger, 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 wiser. I'm better. Say it again one time. I said, never would have made it. Lord, never could have made it without you. I would have lost it all. Now I see you were there for me. Never would have made it.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Jeff. Aren't they great? God. If you would now take your tithes and offerings, hold them in your hands, and repeat with me our offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I love to give. Can we have the collection people? Thank you. Prayer support today, Monica Anderson will be right over there by the alcove to assist you with your affirmative prayers. Spiritual discussion group is this coming Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Be here or be square. Yoga. Whoops, come back here. New times effective November 7th? Now, what time is it this coming? 10. Just 10? Okay. Thank you. Prayer circle every Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. Bob West facilitates the caregiver support group the fourth Thursday of every month. And the book study continues, Jesus and the Essenes, Fridays at 10 o'clock. See Ms. Peck if you need some Reiki. She'll schedule an appointment. And Sherry, would you come up and bless our gifts, please?
Okay, so Paul won't yell at me. I'm in front of the microphone. Okay, please join me as we bless these tithes and offerings. Creator of all that is. Oh my, how we thank you for this day, for these people here, for the visitors, for the new faces. We just are so grateful for it all. We bless each and every person who donated their gift, and we especially bless it to the use and the service of Unity of Port St. Lucie. And in the prayer box are requests, things that are on our hearts for people in our lives, for healing, for comfort, for peace, for the ones that are in that prayer box and for the ones that are on our hearts. We see them surrounded in your light and love and peace and comfort. And we know that all prayers are already manifest. Sometimes we don't see it in this realm, but they are. And so we thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And so it is. So it is. Now, I've got a couple of announcements, but first I have to cheat. Just 1 second. Be quiet. Okay, I will officially do this another day because they'll get their membership certificates, but I'm so excited. Stand up, ladies. Molly and Brucey recently moved to Port St. Lucie, and they officially gave us their transfer letter from their Unity Church, where they moved from, so they are our 2 newest members. But I'm really up here to tell you that next Sunday after church will be our annual membership meeting. And we have various things of business. We give you a financial status of the church. We'll welcome some new members. We'll elect board members. But we also, before Reverend Linda left, I mean, she's still around, but before she left officially, she made the board go through the bylaws again, page by page, paragraph by paragraph. So, because we have to do that periodically and amend them. And now there are 20 copies of all 13 pages on that table back there. I heard that laugh. That is not funny. Okay, so if any of you would like to read the bylaws before the meeting, I can't get it out with a straight face, guys. I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard. But anyway, there is a copy of the new proposed bylaws back there on the table.
There will be a test.
And if all 20 copies go and you miss out, just text me and I'll email you a copy. Sorry. Okay, Hayes, it's back to you. Back to you. I'm sorry I messed that up.
Can I make an announcement, please? There will be choir rehearsal this Thursday at 6 p.m. We want to thank one of our choir members for being very tardy. We're extremely happy. I won't mention any names, Shanetta, because she's been the first one at rehearsal lately. Right? We usually have to wake her up. And I want to thank all the members that came to our wonderful birthday party on Friday.
Yes.
And it was
Happy
a great
birthday.
party. And we had great support, and I always love our church family because it's like no other family. So you guys coming into this new family, you're going to have a great time here, spiritually and all others. Now, we can't get all the thank you out right away because the cards were mixed up with the gifts, and so we're going to get that situated. My wife, anything that would involve money, my wife has. So we'll figure that. Well, I don't know if we'll figure that out, but that's it.
I think Jeff covered the thank yous very well. Sherry, this thing is not really clicking very well. There we go. That's my fault, too. Okay, let's stand and sing our peace song.